welcome from Sporting Communities. For this short video, we're going to be celebrating #IWillWeek by interviewing 3 participants and 3 young people who have recently helped deliver social action projects. So during these interviews, we're going to be getting the thoughts, experiences and feedback from the young people on what they delivered and the impact that that had on their communities.
That's brilliant. And just to touch on what Ed said, I think it's a really great time for us to celebrate all of the young people's hard work and commitment to their communities. So today we're going to be interviewing Talia, Summer and Sauna to talk a little bit about their hard work through their social action projects. So the first person that we're going to be interviewing today about their social action project is Talia. So hi Talia.
Hello.
So do you want to just tell us a little bit about your project and what it was?
Yeah, so around about a year ago now, I wanted to set up a project where I would go out into the local community and deliver food parcels, as during lockdown there wasn't really enough that was included, so I wanted to make a change to what people actually got, but also kind of try and put my own ideas into it and incorporate some other stuff. So like I'd go out, rather than just put in like loads of like tin stuff, I decided that it wasn't enough, so I wanted to incorporate something that was useful. So I decided to make a meal package where we would buy fresh produce and stuff, where we would put it into a food parcel included with a recipe card, so that families could go out and also recreate that.
That's brilliant, Talia. So what I'm hearing from that is that they were more sustainable possibly than just a one-off meal package. With having the recipe cards, they can be recreated. Families can go and, you know, do their food shop and take the recipe card with them so that they can buy the ingredients and actually remake that meal. So that's fantastic. Did you come across any unexpected challenges or things that didn't quite go to plan when you were delivering the food packages?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say one of the biggest ones was actually COVID, because I did start planning it in last year, around about the start of the pandemic, which unfortunately I had to take a step back. But then that gave me a better chance to have a look at what, you know, what's needed, because that's when the food parcel crisis started. And so it gave me the opportunity to assess what's needed, what I can do different and what I can change. Also, I'd say another one was definitely advertising, because I don't think, it's not that it wasn't advertised enough, it's just that it wasn't getting across to the people who actually needed it, or, you know, they didn't actually manage to see it, which was a bit of a challenge to start with.
That's a really good evaluation, I think, of the project. So hopefully if we were to deliver that project with you again, we've recognised the areas of weakness so that we could, you know, build on that, which I think is really good.
So one question I want to ask Talia is, how was it received by the community? You know, did all of the residents come and take a package, or did they talk to you and tell you that it was really useful, or what could be better next time?
Yeah, we had a really good response actually. There was so much positivity at the start of the project when it was first advertised. So many people were praising it, how good it was for the community. And as the project went on, we had quite a big build up towards the end. And so many people were coming saying how useful the service was and how grateful they were, because a lot of the time the parcels, obviously, you know, you didn't get much and they didn't know what to do with it. So having what I provided, the services, made it a lot easier for them. But also as well, we had about 20 parcels a day. We did it for 3 weeks, and that's about 80 people fed a week, because it did feed 4. So just knowing that, obviously, you know, overall it was about, I think, just over 240 people were fed within those 3 weeks. And we also did have a counsellor come down, who's local. She's for the who's a local board. She came and she supported our project, and she said how useful the service was and how good it was for the community.
So that sounds really good, Talia.
What would you say you've learned from the project, Talia? And is there anything that you might be able to transfer into other areas of your life through maybe work or education moving forward?
I've learned quite a lot through this project, actually, the planning, like stuff like that, the organisation. So I think it's really helped with skills like that, but also I think it's really improved my confidence as well to go out and deliver something, because sometimes I just like, you know, just self-belief isn't there, but when I actually go out and do something and see the turnout of it, it's like a step back to think, you know, you can do, like, you can actually do this, like you've done something like so amazing. And I think that going into like work and education, I can take all of this and put it into anything that I do. So
yeah, that's amazing.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
great to hear.
Have you got any plans and aspirations for the future? So are you hoping to deliver this project again? If so, when do you think it would be more effective throughout half term and that sort of thing? Do you think the response was better over the half term period?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping to be able to do a similar project again because of the turnout, because how helpful this project was. Because after it finished, so many people were coming forward and, like, you know, like thanking like me for the project and all of that, for running it. I think that the best time to run it would be term time, because when we actually ran it for 1 week, we had quite a good turnout, and it was a lot easier for the parents to actually be able to access it because it was open for everyone. Everyone was able to come down.
So you think the best week that you ran the project was over the half term period then?
Yeah, definitely, because after we did it after school, which is obviously the school rush, and so many parents they might not be able to get down because they're either at work or there are stay-at-home parents. I think half term was definitely useful.
I even heard that you made an appearance on the radio station, Talia, to advertise it.
Yeah, I put it forward because I thought that, you know, I saw another someone else go on it, so I was like, I'll put my project forward, see if we can get something from it. And it was a really good turnout. You know, the interview went really well, and I feel like that really pushed it as well. But also, like, the recognition for the project, like, it was just like pride in itself, to be honest.
And for anyone listening that's interested in hearing that the radio interview, it is actually on our social media page on Sporting Community. So yeah, you can go and have a look at that for yourselves, which is exciting. Thank you so much, Talia, for your time and for sharing all of your thoughts around the project that you delivered. I think it's an amazing thing that you've been able to do for your community, and we look forward to seeing what the future holds for you and your community.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for helping me do this project as well.
Absolutely welcome. So next up, we're going to be speaking to Sauna about her social action project. So I'll pass over for you to just explain a little bit about what it is that you've been doing.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, anti-bullying week next week. So from the 15th of November to the 19th. So next Tuesday, the 16th, we'll be doing an event at the Pride Park Stadium. It's called the Visionary Summit. And it'll be from 5:30 till 8:30. And we've got guest speakers. So we're going to have 2 panels, a music panel and a sports panel, whereby we'll have local people from Derby and outside of Derby who will be all sat on a panel and open to Q&A, so the audience can ask their own questions, and that can be regarding bullying, as well as their journeys individually, just to help inspire the youth, and just kind of open discussion really, so everybody can have something to say. And you know, the youth can get involved. It's a free event for the youth, so if you're aged 11 to 18, it's free entry. You just need to book a ticket as well off Eventbrite. And yeah, we're gonna have some stalls there as well, so a lot of people can, you know, network. We've got obviously yourself, Sporting Communities there. We've got a massage therapist. We've got can't can't think off the top of my head. That we've got a makeup artist, and we've got an artist as well from Derby called Sophie. So it's got a mixture of different things. So even if you don't really, like sport or music, there'll be plenty of other things that you can, get involved with as well in the day.
That sounds great. It sounds like you've got a lot sort of to reach a wide audience of people as well, which is great. Have you had any unexpected sort of successes whilst planning the day?
Yeah, I think just the lineup really. I mean, when we started to plan it, we thought, yeah, we'll get 2 or 3 people, and now it's grown to about 10 to 12. So the more the merrier, because obviously it's again different experiences, different walks of life, and everybody is really renowned in what they do. So you've got Eyes, who's obviously an international grime artist. We've got True School, who's an international music producer. We've got local boxers, Sajid Abid, who's just he just won a fight in Dubai, and he's recently just returned to the UK. So yeah, we've got quite an A-list lineup, to be honest. So it's going to be really nice to just share the room with those kind of people, and inspire anybody that walks through those doors next week.
That's brilliant. No, that sounds great. So where did the idea come from to do such an event?
It's originally, so personally I have been bullied in the past. So primary school and secondary school, actually I got physically bullied at primary school. I had a year 6, I think I was in like year 2 or 3, I got jumped at primary school. And obviously at the time, I was petrified, and you're so small and young, and having that was just weird. So that was when my mum said, you need to learn a bit of self-defense, a bit of martial arts, and obviously it got dealt with as well. And then secondary school, it was just kind of name calling, racism, stuff like that. So from experience, that's kind of what motivated and inspired me to do something like this. And I've also directed and created a short film which will be shown next week, and it kind of just tells a story of self-defense and stuff like that. So once I created that, it will be released this week at some point. And then it will be screened next week. So me and Dan, who's also my co-host, we just said, why don't we create an event where we can, put the film out and, attract a wider audience, and then obviously invite other people as well, just to make it not hostile, because obviously bullying is quite a triggering topic for some, and it's just quite negative. And obviously if you say, I'm going to an event about bullying, it's a bit, it's not very appealing. So to do something like this, it's a bit more interactive. It's not going to be pure bullying this and that and the other, so it'll be more inspiring. So most of the people on the panels have actually been bullied as well, so it'll be nice for them to share their journey, and then anybody that attends next week that is being bullied or has been, they can look at the lineup on the day, and just be inspired by how people have transformed their lives regardless of what they've gone through or been through. So
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think sort of sharing your story and actually normalizing the fact that everyone goes through some form of either bullying or prejudice or anything like that in their life. It's sort of it creates that safe space for young people to feel like, actually I'm not on my own. And I think it's really great what you're doing, and the way that you pitch it as well, for those that might not necessarily feel comfortable attending something like that, just with it being around bullying, you've sort of made it a broader spectrum, which I think is great. Really good.
So what sort of challenges have appeared throughout, creating and organising the event? Because we know like big events like this, they're not as smooth as they look on the night. So what sort of hidden challenges have appeared, or not even hidden challenges, what sort of challenges have you just faced along the way?
I think for us it's timing, making sure everybody has enough to say on the night, and make sure it's balanced between everything else that's going on, because we've got performers as well, so it's just dividing that equally and making sure we don't go over the time limit, but we're also making sure everybody's got a fair bit of time to do what they need to do. So I'd say that's probably one of the main challenges, and we just finalized the structure of the event yesterday. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the main challenge, obviously making sure it's fair, and make sure we can fit everything in nicely on the night, it's not too rushed and whatnot. So I'd say that's probably the main one. I don't think, touch wood, we've not come across anything too, you know, challenging as of yet, but who knows, next week it might be just, you know, one of those last minute things, you know, sound check or stuff like that. So hopefully no technical difficulties, but other than that, I think it's, so far we're doing all right.
Yeah, because I can imagine having you at the start thought that you just had maybe 3 on the panel, but now having that grown to 10 and 12, it's quite a nightmare to fit everything in. You know, with it being more of a success than you originally thought. So that's fantastic to hear.
Legs kicking beneath the surface sort of thing. You don't realise what goes into it.
Exactly.
That sounds brilliant. And just to sort of finish off, I think what you're doing is so crucial, especially to sort of the young people of today with, you know, social media in itself, that sort of thing. I think it's really important that we're highlighting those sorts of things. So if you had a lump sum of money, what do you think you would do for your community?
I think a lot of things. I feel like I'm quite delved into different types of avenues. So one for me would be, I'd like to introduce kind of more mindfulness into schools. So, you know, just teaching kids kind of meditation rather than, not even meditation, it could just be breathing techniques, because some people are kind of against like yoga and stuff like that because they think it's religious and whatnot. But I feel just instilling that bit of just time for yourself, that calmness, I think that would be something I introduce into schools, so that they're not so much punished for their actions, but they're given a moment to reflect. So that would be like one avenue for young people. I think for the elderly, I'd love to like restart some sessions and keep teaching them. We used to teach kind of Zumba and stuff like that with them. And then for adults, I think just keep on putting more networking events and things like that. I think we've got you know, a really nice city of inspiring people. A lot of people are doing different things, even you know, yourselves, organizations are really doing a lot for the community. So I think it's like an amalgamation of all of that and making sure we're targeting all age groups from, you know, youth to elderly. So yeah, I'd split it plenty of ways so that, you know, a lot can be done with it. So yeah,
Feeling really inspired by all of this. It sounds great.
Bless you, thank you.
I think it's nice that you're considering all different ages as well. I think that's what's so good about your event, is that you've sort of targeted it towards different age groups, to say actually, you know, it's not just one type of person that experiences these things. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much for that, and thank you for sharing all of the hard work and the things that we don't necessarily see behind closed doors, and, you know, all of that hard work that goes on. And I wish you all of the best luck for the future with those plans. I think it's brilliant.
Thank you very much. Likewise, thank you guys for your support as well. So thank you.
So now we are moving on to Summer to talk a little bit about her project in the community. So Summer, if you want to explain what your project was a little bit.
I did a litter pick we did 3 litter picks in the 6 weeks holidays. It was around the Symphony area, and the last litter pick we went up to Redwood Park and actually did the litter pick there.
Brilliant. So what was the best outcome, or I suppose the thing that you wanted to achieve through doing this litter pick?
I think the best outcome was how much rubbish we actually picked up. By the end of the first one, there was about 5 bags full, and it was like that every single one that we did. So I think that was the best outcome.
Brilliant. I know that when I came along to help out, I think it was the second one that I came to, and I just couldn't believe how much litter was collected. So I think it's a really great thing what you've been doing for your community, and we hope to see more stuff like that in the future.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So Summer, what made you want to do it, and what was your inspiration behind starting it?
I think my inspiration behind starting it was just like the animals around something and the people, because the streets are always covered. And although there are some people who go around, say, once a fortnight, one person isn't going to make that much of a difference. They may be able to like clean it up for a bit, but then it all just fills up again, and it just piles up and piles up. Like the other week when we had that heavy rain and it was going down the street and like down the sides of the road, there was so much litter in the water, and the water was brown. Like it wasn't normal rainwater, it was brown from like the mud and the dirt on the street. And it's just bad for the community in general.
Yeah.
So you think it was helpful having a team of people then that you got together to help? So instead of it being at one person cleaning up, you had a dedicated team with you every week?
Yeah, definitely. Although it was only like me, my family, and like Ed and the people from sporting communities, and then 1 week someone from the council came and joined in with us. It made such a massive difference, and you could just see like you could see the difference already.
That's great. Was there any challenges you think you faced when, I don't know, it might have been in the delivery or the planning of the project? Was there anything that you found challenging?
I think definitely in the planning, because it was finding the time where people were free to come and do it, and where when we had the supplies that we needed, and that, and then also with the delivery, because even though quite a few people said that they would come if it was possible that they could, not very many people showed up.
Is there anything that you've learned through organising and delivering the social action project that you could take forward or take into different areas of your life, say school or work experience, anything like that?
Don't give up. Because the amount of times, like the first week when it was hammering it down, that I know all of us just wanted to give up, but in the end it turned out to be one of the best things that I could have ever done, and I think that's definitely something that I could bring forward with me.
That shows a lot of commitment as well, that you and your dedicated team of people were willing to go out in their own time into the rain and all different conditions. And actually it's quite a selfless thing to do, because they're not doing that just for themselves and the community, they're doing that for other people in the community, for the environment, the wildlife, the animals. So I think it's really quite a prominent thing that you've done, and I think, you know, more stuff like that needs to happen in the future, so hopefully we can help and support you in doing that.
Yeah, you should definitely be proud of what you've done.
And I think by you doing your project, you probably are that little bit of encouragement that people need. So because a lot of young people will potentially look at you as a bit of an advocate, I suppose, for the community and doing good. So they will look up to you and follow in your footsteps, I suppose. So I think you've been a really, really good role model for your community. So I think you should be really, really pleased with yourself there.
Thank you.
Well, we had that, didn't we, Summer? So whilst we were on the litter pick, there was a group of young people who had left some litter, but once they'd seen that Summer had come along and started doing the litter pick, they actually came back to where they'd left the litter and put their litter in the bin as well. So that's just proof that, you know, you are a role model and you are inspiring other people to follow suit and put their rubbish in the bin. So it was fantastic to see that as well. The
proof's in the pudding with that one. But no, I think, you know, keep up your good work, and I think already people are sort of looking up to you in admiration. So I think if you keep going the way that you are, then you'll have your community in ship shape in no time. So well done, Summer, and thank you for joining us today. It's been really good to hear a bit more about your project.
It's all right.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for all of your hard work in the community. I think it's what you're doing, honestly. I know I keep saying it, but I think it's really good, and I think we need more young people like you that want to take care of their communities.
Thank you.